Welcome to the video. Today we are playing through Stanley Parable, the Ultra Deluxe new remastered content edition that has just come out. I played the original way back when in 2013. I do not remember pretty much anything about that game, so this may as well be a first playthrough, and with the new content as well, it's very different. So enjoy. Please do hit that like button and subscribe for more gaming playthroughs. Would love to hear from you in a comment how you enjoyed this video and which is your favorite ending. Enjoy.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Oh my gosh, that was loud.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor.
That's what I do for a living.
Telling him what buttons to push,
Kind
how
of.
long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in.
No days off.
Though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Or did he? So it asked me to put in the time. Did it set it as the time on the clocks? No, it's 20 past 11. It's not the real time. It's almost 1 a.m. Wow, this looks really nice. This looks nice graphics, buttery smooth. Can I type on this? Drink my coffee. Tap, 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 tap. Tap, 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 tap. I guess I do leave. Hello?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
The rapture.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Oh. It's that humming. I didn't mean to turn that off. I did mean to turn that off. They left a mess though. What's this? Knowing your city. Do you work somewhere like this? Who works in an office building like this? Leave a comment. Sales this quarter. Oh,
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
listen. You can label me as you want. Be it a rebel, be it a contrarian, but no.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room.
I mean, it does look very
Stanley
nice.
simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Speaking of drinks. Okay.
Yeah. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
What was that? Yeah. What was he about to say? I don't follow orders very well.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
I know, dude. It's one of the world's great mysteries. Do not jump from the cargo lift while it is in motion. It will cause death. Penalty for jumping off cargo lift, $5,000.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
I'm listening.
I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not.
Oh,
I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been... What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Okay. What are you gonna do? Danger everywhere. I don't know why I'm feeling so rebellious tonight. What's got into me? Here, Stanley. No buckets past this point. There's a bucket. Alright, Mr. Narrator.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
I said I was gonna agree to a chance. Okay.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me.
On occasion.
You see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time.
The
problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Okay. Don't like that.
What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
It's beautiful. You're listening to Down to Sleep. On tonight's episode. Ooh, pretty lights. Stars in the sky. To make you feel happy and help you drift off. A giant glowing butthole in the sky. Spirals its way off into the deep corners of the universe. Celestial light show. Never leave this place. Remain forever. Relax. You're doing great, sweetie. Down to Sleep on Spotify and all good podcast apps.
No, wait. Where are you going?
I've got podcasts to record. I can't stay there forever.
No. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
This is life.
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
I mean, I don't want to die, but it feels like the only way. Oh, that's so depressing. Maybe this door opens. Okay. So this is where a rebellious end leads.
No! Oh, thank God you lived.
Oh.
You had me worried there for a moment.
Okay.
Now, can we please get back to the other room?
So you do care about me. Maybe I just needed to do it again. full damage, you know?
No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this? Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me?
It was quite nice in the other room. Since you asked so nicely, I guess. What's that? Picture.
Yes. Perhaps you can.
Right.
Perhaps you finally see what I'm talking about.
I mean, happiness is nice. This is nice. It's a nice, relaxing room, right?
I know you'll see that we can't be happy if we leave this place. You can see that, can't you?
What is this representative of? The pretty lights of gaming in my bedroom. Is that what it is? Are you feeling relaxed? Type a comment. On a scale of 1 to 10, how relaxed are you feeling? With the stars. What if I jump off of here, though? Nothing. Well, I can't stay here forever, sir. I tried to sit in the pocket and be happy. Doesn't work for me, okay?
No, perhaps not.
I need to keep moving. I need to feel alive. I need some grit. I need some danger. I need some darkness and grime and murk.
My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
Pretty much.
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
I was just trying to be rebellious and not be told what to do. I didn't realize that was going to lead to me throwing myself off of these stairs over and over again. Do a flip.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
What? Huh?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Every
Stanley decided to
day
go to the
I
meeting
wake
room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright, I'll listen to you this time. How about that? Are these doors open? There's gotta be a way out of
When
here.
Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Sure did.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
How to solve a dispute. Let it ball up inside you. Take it out passive-aggressively on other co-workers. We'll never know what the last one was. Hello?
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Is there nothing here?
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet.
Okay,
no
wait.
reason to still be here.
You're being weird about it, though.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Sweet FA. Do you know what Sweet FA stands for?
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why?
Makes me
Please
feel
offer me
safe.
some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
I feel safe. It's a small space, but it's not small enough to be constricting and claustrophobic.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever.
Prove it.
I never would have thought to mention it.
I like it in here. I've got everything I need.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
I don't sound like that. I hope not.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Rude. Sir? There's no need for that.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now.
Go on then.
You're dead.
What?
You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing
You think I died?
A malady of some sort
Oh, gosh.
shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
I mean, there's a chance that that's happened and like an actual dead person has been on their keyboard whilst this game is shouting that, right? Statistically speaking.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board.
Aye,
Coming
Captain.
to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay, I'll do a little bit as I'm told. I can't promise I'll do everything I'm told. Oh, this is nice. Feels like a boudoir. Without wallpaper.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret
6969.
2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Can I play the piano? Disappointing. So bright. Where are we off to?
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar.
I
It
feel a
was
bit
a stirring
peculiar.
of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door
Mind
that read
control.
Mind Control Facility.
Escape. Mind control. Escape. I feel like the escape is the mind control. Therefore, I'm not being controlled by entering the mind control facility.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Is this the Matrix? You're about to get a 30-minute download from the architect. An information dump.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Wait, what was my number? 4 something. Wasn't it like 4... Oh my gosh, 429, I think. Let's see. 429... Wasn't that me? Let's see if it's our room. It was 4 something. See how someone's fired.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Oh my gosh.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Am I like a sim? Being controlled? Facility power. Must be over this way. Mind control offline. Mind controls idle. Awaiting input. Let's see.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
What if I want to be happy? Let's turn it on and find out.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control?
Sometimes.
Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave.
My bad.
If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that.
Huh?
I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system.
Why are you all sinister?
In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are?
Sure.
A moment of solace before you're obliterated?
We've got to do these in order.
Good. You're going to die anyway.
Where's
I'll tell
one?
you exactly what happened to them.
Okay.
I erased them.
What?
I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's
There's one up there.
rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better.
Oh, it's 4. Where's
only
3?
34 seconds left.
No.
But I'm enjoying this so much.
Push it anyway.
You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time
Yes,
on the
please.
clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees.
Where's 3?
Oh, dear me. What's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you.
Where's 3?
Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in
and
this
what?
room. These numbered buttons.
3.
No, these
3.
colored ones. Or maybe this big red button.
4.
Or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment.
Where was the 5?
But
Over
here's
here.
a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you
Didn't
made
work.
humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Hello? I see.
All of his
how it is.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
I'm on to you.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
No.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
No. I gave you a chance. New content.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Let's see. New stuff. Why do I feel like I'm on a ghost train?
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers.
Wow, has it been that long?
After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles
This
and
is
home
amazing.
computers.
Holy moly.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
More.
Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
So cool.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Let's do it.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we...
I feel
Should we
claustrophobic.
be moving somewhere or... oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've
Okay.
never been more ready. Let's do it.
We're okay. Deep breaths. What?
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if the...
Mostly tedious.
Okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
You're a harsh reviewer.
All right. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
I can jump. You should be able to jump in every game. Jumping around and skipping. Things will never be the same. I only have 18 jumps left, but I am going to keep jumping anyway. And I run out, it will be a sad day. Thanks.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell,
Go for
I
it.
could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh wait, there's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is. That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar.
It's very
and
true.
Don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable.
Well, don't do that.
It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such
That's okay, don't blame
expectations.
yourself.
If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always.
That
What do you
sounds
say,
nice. Okay. Oh. But it's different. This isn't how it was.
Psst! Stanley! What? Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something!
I want to see it, but also what's up here, because there's a light on. Oh, that goes back that way. Okay, I'll come in the vent. Bruce Willising. Die Harding. Let's go. Tell me your secrets.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be?
I mean, I
Well, it got me
loved it.
thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
It's beautiful.
I call it the Memory Zone.
Wow.
It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Wow. You did so well. Don't forget, memory, sweet memory.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Wow. Audience Award, the 2014 Independent Games Festival. a BAFTA for the Stanley Parable. It says The Last of Us on it. In the category of story, you nominated and you didn't win. It's okay, we can pretend that you did. Our first kiss, my first car, the release of the Stanley Parable. Cute. What does that say? The Memory Zone temp. The original remake. Good times. This is very cute, Mr. Narrator. Smile because it happened. What's this? The soundtrack? The first dollar from the first sale, maybe? This is so cute. The Stanley Parable demonstration. Begin the demo. Don't play for 5 years. An achievement. I wonder if I have that. Unachievable. It's impossible to get this achievement. The funny thing is, I really don't remember this game. I mean, 2013 was a long time ago, honestly. Game Innovation BAFTA. Debut game. Story. Maybe they did win. New video game releasing today. Creator is surprisingly down to earth. Can I just sit in the bench? Whoa, what's this?
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism. 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim. It was Persona 3. It was all of them. And now, it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
What a review. The Doors. Person of the Year. What's downstairs? Memory Zone Maintenance. The original remake. Was there a remake? Collector's Edition. Oh, a tie. Was that some merch? Another review.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable
Does
is
GameSpot
both a
still
richly
exist?
stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games, and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
I mean, we'll always have that, you know? It's fine.
These were simpler times, Stanley.
They were.
But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
Let's find out.
No. Oh, God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor.
Oh,
I haven't
no.
looked at these in years.
Are these going to be
I
like
can't even
really
imagine
silly,
what's being
stupid, bad
collected
ones?
down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Uh-oh. It's going to be ones that people have actually left? Wow.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Imagine if that was your review, though. That would be so cool.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me.
A little bit.
I always, well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. But dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
No, it's a classic. Don't you say that.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable.
That's
my
kind of
motto
scary.
today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Don't like water.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a... Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary... Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof! Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer.
Oh.
That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes.
You can see the clock.
It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times, and there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again.
How long's it been?
Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time.
Oh, no.
Just sitting here. Not a single person to
Bless
speak
you.
with.
I'm sorry,
And you
Mr.
think
Narrator.
that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing.
I mean, you talk a lot.
Would
I
you
can't
think that it's exactly the same as always?
really get an
Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking?
word in
It
edge
isn't,
rate.
Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear. Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome.
Hi.
I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through.
I'm listening.
I've had so much time.
How much
I stopped
time?
keeping track after a year.
A
Have you
year?
ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year?
I
Let
mean-
me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, What took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced.
Sounds cool. Let's do it
my
again.
entire life.
Mr. Narrator. Mr. Narrator. Are you good? Can hear stuff. What is that? An alarm going off? Don't like it.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh.
Did it? Oh.
The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end.
Oh, I love this song.
End is never the end.
Isn't this the new Daft Punk?
Is never the end, 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 is.
This game is bonkers. Alright, this is cool with the skip. We get it. We get it, Mr. Narrator. We can go home now. Oh. Oh no. Oh dear. Did an ice age come? I don't... Oh no. Wow. Okay. Oh, what happened to all the pretty flowers? This is a bit scary, this one. How long have I been here? What is that? Uh-oh. Free. The world has become like Dune. I emerge into the desert. Truly free. Do I just keep going? Oh. Well, that was a trip.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Wow.
What could it mean?
Okay, that was the...
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Let's see. New content. Well...
Oh, good. You noticed my sign.
I did.
Yes, I have something very exciting to show.
Okay. I'm listening. Go through this again.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this Ultra Deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this Ultra Deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2. Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
What if this is actually a sequel and not
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2
Deluxe
is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
actually a two-player Stanley Parable would be amazing.
I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it.
Okay.
I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Okay, but which of these sequels is the best? Leave a comment. Portal 2, Half-Life 2, Batman Arkham City, Divinity Original Sin 2, Doom 2, Aladdin 2, Dark Souls 2. For me, Divinity Original Sin. Even though I didn't play the first one, that game is just incredible. It's one of my favorite games ever. Love Arkham City too, though. Those are all great games, by the way. I'm not diminishing anything, but that is my top pick. Ooh. This looks cozy and nice. The bus to new content. Or up to Expo Hall 2. Oh, I can't get on the bus. Okay. It's like being at a convention.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Okay. The reassurance bucket. The button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. Hear your name in the game. Okay. Is this going to, like, expose me?
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people.
You're damn right.
So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Uh-oh. Should I push it?
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as
What if
Jim
my name
to
was
really
Jim?
simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along.
Okay.
I promise you'll love it.
You can call me
Okay,
Jim.
Here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
I am Jim.
I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim.
Okay.
Sleeping and waking as Jim. Falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim. Seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply?
Yes.
Are you really, truly Jim right now? If so, then please step forward and press the button.
I am Jim.
Jim.
Yes! You see? What a thrill! What a rush! That was you! The button described you. Do it again. Do it again.
I'm Jim.
Jim! It hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
Once more.
Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim. I'm putting the Jim button away.
What?
Otherwise, soon you'll start to lose all sense of who you actually are.
Jim. I'm Jim. All the Jims out there playing this, very happy. Jim!
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
Please, no screenshots. A whole new office. Red is the new orange. New updated ray trace, more of the same, but in a good way sequel to the new features. The button that says the name Jump Circle, Infinite Hole. We did Jump Circle, didn't we? Merch. No screenshots. Let's go to the bucket of reassurance. I have merch, just in case you want a bear plastered on you.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it.
Did a little bit.
I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket.
Okay.
You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
All right, let's get the reassurance bucket.
Can you feel it?
No.
The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well?
Thanks.
I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person.
Do you think so?
The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they?
Yeah.
All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable.
I mean, if it makes me look more attractive, you know, I'll hold on to it, I guess.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already. Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons.
Okay.
But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Get well someday.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is.
I see. My opinion means nothing to you.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
Okay. New free and easy achievement. I'll take an achievement. Get yours right now. Pull lever, receive new achievement. Okay.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident?
Sure.
Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement.
Right.
Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that.
I feel like this bucket is like the companion cube, right? One achievement, please.
Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
I need my Chivos. Only time I care about achievements is if I stop playing a game and realize I got something that's like 2% and super rare, and then I'm like, ooh, but I don't actually go out of my way to collect them.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Well, we saw the jump circle, but, you know.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley
that was in the...
Parable 2
Okay,
as well.
this is the sequel.
Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle.
But that wasn't the sequel.
Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece, then.
Can I not get some free jumps, my dude? Collectibles. Can you find them?
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them.
Okay.
I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Kind of a scary room. 1 of 6. Nice.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
The infinite hole. What's that way? The exit? We don't want to exit yet. So jump circle we did. Free achievement. The button that says the player's name. Merch. Settings. World champion. Reassurance bucket. Decorations. Epilogue. Where's the epilogue? Around there. Collectibles. Infinite hole. Where's the settings world champion? You are here. So settings world champion should be in the main hall. Around here? Did I miss it? Insurance bucket match. Maybe it was this thing. Hidden away. Oh, this is the epilogue.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley?
I mean...
Yes, it would go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Okay. Oh, that was it? Right, okay. Settings world champion. Do I go into my settings? No. How do you do that one? Alright, off to the infinite hole. AKA your mum's house. Oh, no screenshots in there. I think I've been in there though. Distant space, time, distant past. Opening, rim, depth, infinite. Whole entrance, it just keeps going.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before.
Officially the first and last Your Mum joke that will ever appear on the channel. Enjoy it, embrace it, or discard it as you wish.
A video game. This is in fact a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling.
That sounds fun.
You can fall until the end of time if you like.
Like Bill and Ted.
A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Or Alice in Wonderland.
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
Well, let's see how far it goes.
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top.
Let's see.
Do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
Let's keep going. Oh, I dropped my phone. I'm so sorry.
Okay, Stanley.
I'm
I don't
sorry
know
to
quite
you,
how to say
darling.
this
Scared my cat.
tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is.
Okay.
Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can
This
move
would be
on.
so fun in
I'll just be
VR,
up
like if I
here
could
when
actually
you're
just move
ready.
my hands to communicate. Because he talks so much, I don't get to talk as much. So I kind of wish I had hands and I could, like, you know, mime and stuff. That doesn't work for me. I need more. Gonna wait and see if you acquiesce on that one. I got all day. Well, I don't really, but it's fine. I can stroke my cat for a little bit, and then that won't seem like I'm just stuck down a well for so long. Hi! Isn't it hot today? It is. Okay, fine.
Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
The mostly infinite hole. More ideas, okay. Where are we going? Chum? Back up? All the way up, maybe. Oh, nope, it's blocked. Okie dokie. What else you got for me? I feel like you got a place that's far too big for how much you have in this convention. I'm just going to be honest with you. This place must have cost you a bomb. Where's the map? I guess the exit. I saw everything. Apart from the settings thing, but I don't know how I get it. There. Love the music in this game. I wonder if there's a vinyl. Me and my bucket going to the exit.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to?
I think
Ready
so.
to move on now?
Yes, please. Back to the game. What's this?
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features?
It was okay.
Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together,
Right.
and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement.
All right. I believe in you.
Yes, this is much better. I feel good
I'm
about
with you,
this.
dude.
Here we go. Version 2.
Oh dear.
Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it, tastefully of course, with respect, with care for the vision and integrity of the original game.
I'm with you.
Would it possibly work?
Possibly.
I suppose it could, but it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up.
Go for it.
All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
The Stanley Parable 2. I don't know if this is a bit or if like the Ultra Deluxe is secretly the Stanley Parable 2 and they have stealth released a sequel. I genuinely am not sure what's going to happen here. Sure.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi.
Poor little submissive
Never in all his
Stanley.
years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Wow, balloons. What a sequel.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Bucket.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
I feel good. That's the end of the new content there. Okay, but I have my bucket now.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
There we go. Back to it.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever.
Room
Perhaps
closet
his
shut.
boss's office was where he'd find answers.
I'm going down
Coming
this
to a
time.
staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs
No.
to the boss's office.
No, we didn't, because last time you blew me up. And I got, oh my god, a collectible.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done.
I'll take
You
some
can't buy
intrinsic
that sort of
pleasure, it's
happiness,
fine.
Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment
a very
you
colourful
come
screen.
across one of these beautiful figurines.
I will. It's nice.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk?
The economy
All
isn't about...
because he believed everyone
Are we
had
going around in
vanished.
circles?
His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley.
Right.
Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this.
Bucket.
Who knows what sorts of bizarre
Where did my bucket go?
hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, Now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground.
Oh.
Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad.
We're flying.
Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him. Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket. Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket. Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
This is just a normal Tuesday for me.
He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity.
It's this one.
And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful.
Oh.
Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
Huh?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Who?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
What? What an ending.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
I will forever have this bucket, but this time I go
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
to the right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge
I had
was
the right
simply
idea the
place
first
to
time around,
be.
not listening to you,
And here
dude.
it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Well, no, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
We're
Stanley
going.
took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No. No, he didn't.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else.
Yes, buckets.
The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift. Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
So last time I went
Stanley
down
did
there
not
and I just had to
question
throw
why or
myself
how
off.
This bucket was
I guess
speaking
I'll
to
wait
him.
this time.
It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious
A
fact.
collectible.
He was firmly convinced that the bucket
Why do I
had
care?
spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Yes, bucket. I will do as I am commanded. I mean, we like to be
In here,
told what to do,
Said
don't
the
we?
bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
All I want to do is
Stanley
follow
once
orders.
again obeyed blindly.
What?
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
Are you tricking me?
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket.
Oh.
Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
The beige pages. There used to be an old directory called the yellow pages. Okay. This is a nice, cozy little home I have. What's in the fridge? Jazz music. It's a little empty in here. Do I... Where's my bucket? Where's anything? Where's... Oh, bucket, there you are. Hello, Stanley, it's me, your bucket. Press C to take me to work with you.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Kill them all, Stanley, kill them all. What's that bucket? Kill them all. Take the bucket back home.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well?
Bucket.
To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object?
Bucket.
I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me. Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
There's definitely other uses for a bucket, sir. Don't listen to the loud man. Press H.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
This game has like big Severance vibes in places.
It's sad, but I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
My precious.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
Put popcorn in me, Stanley. Fill me with popcorn and eat from me as we watch the glowy screen.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket? Oh no, I'm having feelings. For the bucket.
Uh-oh.
No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes, the bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation.
Why am I having a candlelit bedtime with the bucket?
Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
Go back to work, Stanley. What? Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
I don't know.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
The bucket.
The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting
Try it
room.
again.
But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the... No, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
I don't
Stanley
know,
took
maybe...
the door on his left
This way
to
would
go
probably
back
be
to
the
meeting
same.
room.
If I jump off, then I just have to kill myself. Right? And he tries to, like, convince me in that whole thing. Maybe it's different if I go this way without the bucket. But since I have the bucket,
And
let's
so
go
the
back.
two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
What's this? This game's so unique. Like what else is like this? Maybe the beginner's
Stanley,
guide, like a
I'm
little
glad
bit.
you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
Oh.
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it.
It's mine.
Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line?
I don't even really know what that
Adventure Line
is.
go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
Is this the Adventure Line? I guess this is the Adventure Line. I don't remember it. Okay, I'll follow it. Oh,
Look at that
bloody hell.
wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next?
Whee!
Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
I love it. Yes. Adventure.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this.
Okay.
But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
What? Well, not my bucket.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket.
What?
That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the
Not
original
my
game, but
bucket.
it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree?
No. I don't.
Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does?
Does it destroy buckets?
Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you.
Does it?
Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
No. Turn it
Now
off.
listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded
feel like
with
I played against
complexity
Bucket
and
Destroyer
nuance
on
that it's
Fortnite.
really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The Broom Closet? Certainly not.
Let's try
I
to
wonder what
recognize the
sort
name.
of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
My bucket.
The Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend.
Listen, it was a terrible character narrator. Let it go.
That you were here. You were magnificent.
Bye. What now? Oh my god, okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Warmth spread through Stanley.
Why do I keep
With the
picking it
bucket in
up?
his
I can't
arms
help
again,
it.
He was home.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
What happens if I
Stanley
throw it
had
in?
felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left,
to go back. And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the
I don't want to
door.
destroy it. There will be a reward for finding them all. How we can find them. To do. Maybe we are the collectibles. Trust the completionist instinct. Broom closet.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend.
Yes.
You can't hand it over.
No.
Oh, no.
No.
We're getting into name-calling now, it seems.
What?
Is this how low the
What?
broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand
What's
over
it
the
saying?
bucket?
What's it saying?
Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons.
Okay.
But even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom
What?
closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it.
You-
Really tell the
you
broom closet off for its demeaning
broom-
comments. Expand on the wide variety of
Bitch.
experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point.
Yeah.
Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
You overgrown cupboard? You...
Okay, coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
I wonder what happens if I take this to the end. So what was downstairs? Downstairs was... Oh, I can't remember. Me and you, bucket. Executive bathroom.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Stannies. Money in the morning, money in the evening, money for breakfast, money crisp. Oh. 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 Right, so this is a bear hate game, is it? Unbelievable. Right. Okay. It's a long lift. any second now, I'm sure. At least we're alone. And the music's nice. What? What was that? Oh. What? It's the same place. What if we go up? Surely this will be different. It's a different direction after all. It's a... think it was going anywhere at all.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always.
Always.
The bucket would. And he knew it. The two of them were inseparable.
I'm the boss now.
At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk.
Come on, give me the code.
Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845.
2845. Losing my voice. Allergies. Did it wrong again. My hay fever's so bad today.
But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him?
Yes.
Yes. This is certainly the most logical explanation.
I guess we'll see what happens in this ending with the bucket. Collectible.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies.
Oh, Figlies is cute.
What name better encapsulates the
Better than
intrinsic
Funko
sense
Pop.
of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
Okay. Wait. That's... Okay, sorry. I got distracted by the... Figurine, Stanlerine, Figgity, Figgles.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Okay.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead
yeah,
through the large
escape.
door that read,
I never went that way
Mind
last
Control
time.
Facility.
Sorry, I needed to cough. So that way is... That way is the bomb, right? I mean, maybe escape is... I haven't done this yet.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
What?
The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Well, I think you're trying to convince me to do that, which means I need to do that. You don't want me to do this, and you're not very
At
trustworthy.
this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Sure. Possibly. Oh. Where are we, Bucket? I don't know, Stanley. I'm afraid. Uh-oh. Yeah, I don't think this is
As
escape.
the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be.
Maybe I can
To
get
be
off
sure,
here.
It puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket.
Bucket,
But
help
what
me.
use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere.
Uh-oh.
Farewell, Stanley.
Goodbye, Bucket. Goodbye, Dad. Oh.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end as it was crushed violently to death.
What?
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket.
Who's
It's
this?
true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
Where is my bucket? The bucket, the grand exhibit.
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will
Father,
ever be in his short life?
I have been chosen. A bucket with 2 handles. Did it have 2 handles? 25 buckets. Inferno bucket. The stress bucket. Cave drawings of buckets.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one.
Suddenly feel very
It
Lord
is
of the
man
Rings.
who should kneel before the bucket.
The hanging bucket. Symbolizes the necessary relationship between bucket and humanity, clear out of grasp. Whoa.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will
Right.
right this terrible wrong.
Oh.
Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket.
I
We
dunno.
can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
What?
He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all. Blackness, and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved.
How many?
Where had his co-workers gone?
Where?
How had he been freed from the machine's grasp?
How?
What other mysteries did this strange
Who are
building
you?
hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness.
Yeah.
Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Why do I feel emotional? My gosh. Freedom?
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him.
This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
All you can ask for, really, in this world. Just a little bit of occasional happiness. But I won! I was free. How? Thank you for watching. Is there a true ending? I truly don't know. I am not sure. I think you just go around forever, but it's got to end sometime. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please do leave me a comment. I love to hear from you. Subscribe, follow me up on Instagram, TikTok, come and say hello, all of those things, and have a beautiful day. Check out one of these videos on the screen. Let's go on another adventure right now. I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you.